So I'm in Belarus today, and that was quite an unexpected trip. I decided to join my cousin and her husband last minute. They come to Belarus about 3 times a year for some business. I'll tell you later what is it. And I wanted to join them because I never say no to a trip, even if it's just to Belarus. I've been here before, and it's not going to be a video of attractions of Belarus, more like how Russian sanctions affected the Belarus as well. I wasn't preparing for this video, so I'm just going to say everything as I go, everything I see, because there's quite a lot of things that are very different from Russia. And we just woke up into the hotel. We slept, all 3 of us, in the same room, and we ordered an extra bed. So we are about to leave, and let's go explore Belarus together. But first of all, what is Belarus and why would it be affected by the Russian sanctions? Belarus is a country close to Russia, and since the start of the war with Ukraine, Belarus and Russia united. They basically supported each other. I mean, Belarus strongly supported Russia in every decision. So the West applied some sanctions on Belarus as well. It's not as strong as on Russia, like maybe 5% of what Russia is having, Belarus has. So it's doing better, basically. And the reason why we came here is to put money on our Belarus bank account. So as you know, since the start of the war, Visa and MasterCard left Russia, and our Visa and MasterCards issued by the Russian banks, we cannot use anywhere in the world except in Russia. So we opened a bank account here, and we can still use this card anywhere in the world. But a very interesting thing, in Russia now we have our own payment system called Mir, and we can use our Russian cards here in Belarus everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Not even once we were denied to use our cards. So that's very convenient, so that we can still use our cards and feel like human beings. But the cards that we open here in Belarus, Visa or MasterCard, we can use anywhere in the world except for Russia. We came to a shopping mall. We want to have breakfast or lunch. It's already 12 p.m. But breakfast for me, because it's gonna be my first meal of the day. McDonald's in Belarus also had some rebranding. I honestly did not know about it. I did not know that it left Belarus as well. And that's how it's called now, Mac-Buy. But it looks exactly the same. Everything is the same. The menu is the same, as you can see, just the different name. When I say the same, I mean it's the same as it's in Russia. It's just different name, but pretty much the same food, except it's produced in a different place now. Belarus is very famous for growing potatoes, and one of the most famous dishes in Belarus is draniki, which is like a hash brown, but not soaked in the butter, just fried on butter. And Angelica and I got with salmon, and Ilya has something with meat. Usually, draniki in Belarus are absolutely delicious. Okay, so the main reason why we're here is done. The money is in the bank account, and now we are basically ready to go back to Moscow, but we are gonna stay here for some time because since we're already here, we're gonna use the opportunity and do some shopping, shop some brands that left Russia. So we're gonna find Zara, H&M, and other stuff that are no longer available in Russia. And probably at 6 p.m. we are gonna drive back to Moscow. We are in Minsk, by the way. We are in Minsk, by the way. We're in Minsk, by the way. It's the capital of Belarus, and we drove from Moscow yesterday. We started at 7 p.m. and we arrived today at about 4 a.m. It took us 680 kilometers, and we're driving back tonight. And it's our second road trip in the same week, which is a little bit intense, but we enjoy it. We're passing through the central square. This is the Parliament House, Dom Правительства. This is probably where Lukashenko is ruling. Everybody calls him Batka in the Russian-speaking world. We decided to park our car and quickly walk through a historical center of Minsk. It's very small, you cannot even drive a car here, so we parked. The parking was 5 Belarusian ruble, which is the equivalent of 150 rubles for 1 hour, which is really cheap comparing to Moscow. In Moscow that would cost probably from 400 to 600 rubles for 1 hour. Looks very interesting, not like a typical post-Soviet countries, but more like in European style. Guys, what other European city does this part of Minsk remind you of? Please write your suggestions in the comments. We walked pretty much the entire historical center, and have you noticed how few people there on the streets? Which is really surprising because it's Saturday afternoon, middle of the day, and people are not walking around the streets. In St. Petersburg, in Moscow, and in other Russian cities, the streets would be full of people, but for some reason here it's not the case. Here in Belarus they have their own language, but most of the time they speak Russian, and all the signs around the city are written sometimes in Russian, sometimes in Belarusian, sometimes doubled in both languages. So as a Russian I really have no problems being in Belarus. I can pay with my card, I can speak, and I personally haven't even heard them speaking Belarusian. Maybe they do somewhere, maybe in the villages, maybe I have some subscribers from Belarus that can tell me if you ever use your language. I only know that they speak Russian in Belarus most of the time, in Minsk in particular. Looks like Coca-Cola didn't leave Belarus. Now we're going to the shopping center, and I think it's gonna be our last stop before we go. So maybe we'll spend there 2 hours, maybe not even. And after that we're gonna go directly to Moscow. And to be honest, I would never ever come to Belarus just to shop at Zara, but since we're already here, we might as well check it out. I know why the city center was empty, because everyone is shopping at the shopping mall. They have Oysha. Wow, since they left Russia, it's changed so much. Now they have outwear. They also have Massimo Duty here. Get anything there. Winter shopping just sucks. We're having our last meal before we leave, and I got borscht. The shopping center is colored by Russian flag symbol. I wonder why. So we're done. It's 7 p.m. We're going to Moscow right now. We're starting a little bit later than we planned. We planned to leave 1 hour earlier, but anyways, if we start now, we're gonna be in Moscow at 3 a.m. and the right time, just like on the way here, is around 9 hours. We just passed the Belarusian border and now we're going to the Russian one. And do you see the big line of these cars? A lot of them have European car plates, and we assume that this is parallel import. Okay, we are in Russia. We just passed the border. It took less than a second, and we entered here with a Russian passport, not with our foreign passport. You already know that we in Russia have two different types of passport, one for the processes inside Russia and one that we travel with. But in Belarus we can enter through our regular passport, Russian one. And not only to Belarus, we can also enter with our passport to Kazakhstan and a few other ex-Soviet Union countries as well. And do you want to see the picture in my passport? You will be shocked. So this is 20 years old me, guys. And right from this border, Russia to Belarus, we have exactly 460 kilometers to go. And one more kind of important thing, but really not, that I forgot to tell you. As soon as we crossed to Belarus, now here we cannot use Instagram without VPN anymore. That's quite crazy because it's just like basically one step away and the life is so much different on this side. Just arrived, super tired, so I'll be quick. Please tell me what your impression of Belarus was, of Minsk in particular. I personally don't really like it. It's not my type of vibe, and I wouldn't go there for leisure, only for some business occasions like today. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.